Fantastic Four. I can't do it. I can't do it. Yeah, that's right. We are going to be doing a review for the Fantastic Four film, First Steps. I watched it, that's right. I know I'm a little bit late compared to everybody else that has been doing the Fantastic Four reviews. But I'm giving you mine right now. Okay, we're going to jump straight into the review. This is what I think of the latest film coming from the MCU. And immediately after this film, isn't it going to be Doomsday? Anyway, let's go straight into it. The Fantastic Four are the world. Did I actually say that? The Fantastic Four are the world's second best defense. Even though they have saved the world, I said, why did I say they're the second best defense? I don't care, because I think the rest of the world can defend itself. But anyway, they're the world's best defense nonetheless. Even though they have saved the world countless of times, more than the Avengers, and not to mention they have Pedro Pascal on their team. Ha! Eat your heart out, Tony Stark. You don't have Pedro Pascal, bruh. Oh yeah, I forgot. Anyway, so in this world, there's many troubles, and once again, and even though the Fantastic Four have been protecting this planet from many threats, they will be facing a threat that hits much, much more closer to home. You know, especially when you consider that the entire planet is in danger with this particular threat. But honestly, I liked this film. It was cool seeing the Fantastic Four in these suits. Looks super cool. And also that the story takes place in the 1960s. So there is a cool aesthetic to everything of this world that they live in. And it's quite interesting to see, especially the vehicles and the way people dress. It's really, really nice. In this world, which is actually Earth 828, not 626, which is the regional timeline, the team are beloved by the entire planet. And this is not the best part of it, because this is not the best part of the film, though, okay? Not the fact that they are loved, but it is cool the fact that the Fantastic Four have made such a massive name for themselves. And on top of that, when it comes to crime within the city, Reed Richards knows about everything. You could say he's the crime lord, but basically, he shared his technology with the police. So they also, the law, the authorities also have flying cars. Okay, so they're the only ones that have flying cars besides the Fantastic Four, and this is obviously to have the police be on top of the game when it comes to car chases and drag races. But nonetheless, because of Reed's inventions and intervention, the police basically know about every single crime that is going on. They are on top of in terms of criminal organizations bringing and taking them down. Basically, thanks to the Fantastic Four, they've got a good grip on everything and making the world a much, much safer place. But nonetheless, going into more personal things regarding the Fantastic Four, the chemistry between Reed Richards and Sue Storm, sorry, is truly incredible. It felt as if Pedro and whoever the lady is that plays Sue Storm, I totally forgot the name now. It seems like they were actually in a relationship together. They play really well with each other, and I'm sure that I don't know if Pedro Pascal is married, but I'm sure she's married. It really seems like these two are like in a full-on relationship. The chemistry is actually fantastic, I have to admit. Okay, Reed being so concerned as a father with the world on his shoulders. It was a great view to see a man with such weight on his shoulders have to deal with every single day going through, nonetheless, of considering what the enemy and the world now demands of him. Okay, and obviously seeing Sue as being the loving mother that calms the people and gives them hope. Those who, in terms of the outrage, man, my what is up with this thing? Those who have the outrage that want to be saved, that do not want to die, they do not want their family to die, call out on the Fantastic Four. And if you watch the movie and you then realize, or you come across the obviously the scene where man, I'm just gonna actually spoil it now. Galactus wants the baby. Okay, Galactus wants Reed Richards and Sue Richards baby. Okay, and Reed made a stupid. He blabbed himself with the information. He told the rest of the world in front of press that, oh no, Galactus actually wants my child. And so now the whole world actually wants them to give up their child so that the selfish people in the rest of the world, the 8 billion, or maybe because the 1960s, not 8 billion, it's like 6 billion. Because those 6 billion people want to save their lives. They rather want to let their heroes, who's been sacrificing many things to keep the world safe, now they want to sacrifice one more thing and to sacrifice their own family. Which I think is like super stupid. Okay? And it gives quite a dynamic that even if you can be the most beloved hero out there, and the world will still ask you to sacrifice one more thing because they are selfish and they want to be saved themselves, but they don't want to do the one. They don't want to be the one to do the sacrificing. Basically, that's what I saw in the Fantastic Four when it comes to the world that they've been fighting for. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, Johnny Storm and Ben Grimm's relationship between each other is also unique. They're more like friends instead of like rivals. I mean, if you watch the previous films, it's always Johnny irritating Ben, and it's always Ben saying, I'm gonna clobber you, Johnny. I'm clobbering you, Johnny. It's always been like, they always have like a feud, but here it's more of like, we're family. I'm gonna tease you like a big brother and little brother. It's kind of like that, to be honest. It's more wholesome than with the other previous Fantastic Four films from the early 2000s. And it's really good. They seem like two really good friends that have known each other for a very long time, which is nice to see. It gives a good dynamic. It actually just shows just how well these people, who obviously have known each other before they became a team, known as the Fantastic Four, but just how well they can gel with each other. So, yeah, Johnny Storm is also not a fool as depicted in previous films when it comes to the Fantastic Four. Mostly he's a womanizer, basically just a hot guy going after a hot woman, and being really cocky nonetheless. That's why he always being such a smart ass as well with Ben. Okay? But instead, yeah, he's kind of smart, and he shows compassion and willingness to sacrifice himself for the greater good, or at least his family. Because, spoiler, when the Silver Surfer says, I can't remember what she says, but that there is a way to save Franklin, which is the son of Sue Storm and Reed Richards. That's when Johnny says, then take me. He is actually willing to sacrifice himself for his own family. We're coming back now to the rest of the world who says to the Fantastic Four, give up the child. They're not willing to sacrifice in order to keep the Fantastic Four safe, which is so lame and so selfish of the rest of the world that's out there. At least in the Fantastic Four I'm talking about, okay? So, even though this world is based in the 1960s, Reed has built technology that is decades ahead, maybe even centuries ahead, of anyone else. They can teleport things. They can go into hyperspace. Probably the only people that can go into hyperspace in the 1960s at that point. I mean, they've done more than anybody on the planet. Not even Tony Stark, with his unlimited knowledge, would be able to do anything in the 60s unless you took him from the 2000s to the 60s. You most likely will be able to build something totally incredible nonetheless. Okay? Galactus. Galactus finally gets a perfect portrayal and is not some big mass of cloud gas like we've seen in the previous Fantastic Four film where the Silver Surfer was there. We all know about that one. Oh, man. That Galactus. Whoa. But this time it's straight from the pages of the comic book. We see Galactus in his ginormous size and glorious state. And it seems impossible to defeat this kind of adversary. And this adds to the lore and the mystique to the Galactus for many other viewers that do not even know who Galactus is from the comics, Instead of seeing a giant cloud gas, we see this guy as a huge, massive dude. Whoa. Almost like a wrestler, and yeah, he's big, he's slow, and he's supposed to have like cosmic power, but it doesn't really display it here that much, which was quite sad. I would prefer that he would be. There was no way the Fantastic Four was going to defeat him if he used the cosmic power that he has, but nonetheless, he was an idiot, didn't use his cosmic power, and nonetheless, just like the cloud gas in previous films, this Galactus gets betrayed by the Silver Surfer as well. Sad. Honestly, with everything that I have said about the film, it does get a good review, even though it ended shortly after a frustrating battle with Galactus in New York City. But nonetheless, the Fantastic Four have saved their planet, and it is actually a good movie to watch. It's mid, it's good. That's what I think. Now we're heading into the rant review of the Fantastic Four film. And I made quite a couple of pointers. Okay. Galactus is weak in this film. For the godlike being like him to be pushed back by Sue Storm, one lady, is such a joke and a real waste to the film. Because Galactus has got cosmic energy, boy. Why didn't we see him use his cosmic energy? He could create a Silver Surfer. I mean, why didn't he do much more than that? Why was he just walking towards Sue Storm and yeah, I can't be fired. Why? She's using her stupid force field powers, right? You're a giant dude, just cosmic, just cosmic zapper, dude. It was lame. This is the weakest Galactus I've ever seen. I think the cloud gas had more aura than this Galactus. No crap, no cap. Female Silver Surfer sucks. Well, no, it's quite a tongue twister. Female Silver Surfer sucks. Female Silver Surfer sucks. Yeah, the female the female Silver Surfer sucks, to be honest. And she was only ever important in the beginning of the film, and at the end of the film, yeah, where she says, "I herald his beginning, I herald your end," blah blah blah. The beginning she was cool, the end, okay. She sacrifices herself and maybe dies from her actions against Galactus. That's what she does. Now, let's not forget, this Silver Surfer did the exact same thing as the previous, or the male Silver Surfer. Okay, I wanted to give his real name, but I totally forgot his real name now. But the male Silver Surfer decides to become the Silver Surfer because he wants to protect his home planet, right? And so Galactus is like, fine, you will be called the Silver Surfer. You will have your memories removed, which that Silver Surfer, the male one, and you will be my herald. And in return, I will spare your planet. Okay? Boom! Those Silver Surfer did the exact same thing. She became the herald of Galactus in order to spare her planet. But now, she did betray the big guy. Right? I mean, in the movie, the big guy was about to get out of the portal, and he looks and he's like, Silver Surfer, and she hits him in the chest, and he flies back into the portal. Thus, the Fantastic Four wins the day. So he now knows he was betrayed. If I was Galactus, the first thing I'd do is hop straight onto my ship, go find that woman's planet, and devour it. That's what I would do. So basically, she's sacrificed herself. She's in trouble, and she most likely killed the rest of her civilization on the other planet if Galactus does find a way out. Okay. Whew. Yeah. For years, who knows, even centuries, that the Silver Surfer has been choosing planets for Galactus to consume, knowing that there is life on these planets. Okay. Silver Surfer knew there's life on the planets. There has to be life on the planets, otherwise there's no point in Galactus consuming it. Okay? So why now, when Johnny Storm plays back the screams and the prayers for help of all the people of these already destroyed planets, why does the Silver Surfer now show moral impact, the moral impact it has on her for what she did, for just choosing the planet? She's not devouring it, she chose it. Okay? Why is she being disturbed by this fact now when Johnny plays back the sounds of the prayers? Oh, help me, help me, help me. And she's like, no, the prayers of all the people I helped destroy, even though I just said, hey, is life? Galactus went in 8. And I said, hey, there's life on that one. Galactus came in 8. Yeah? Like, why now? You've been destroying like trillions. You've helped kill trillions and trillions of people. Why are you worried about it now? When one dude is playing it on the giant television screens in New York City. I don't understand. And as the Silver Surfer, isn't your emotions gone? I mean, your memory should also kind of be wiped at the same time. It's actually weird. And I wanted to make another point by saying, where the hell did Johnny Storm get those voices? How do you find that? Moving on. Sue Storm dies defeating Galactus, but Franklin Richards, the baby, her baby boy resurrects her from the dead like Lazarus in the Bible. And the day is saved, once again, by the writers. Because apparently the baby was like, Mommy. Boom. She lives, you know? Like, seriously? The baby can use his powers now while he's a baby? He's not even a year old. So you basically just had to show us who Franklin Richards is. In fact, he didn't even have to be in the film. This is a Fantastic Four, not a Fantastic Five. Fantastic Four, bro. Not Fantastic Five. I didn't want to see Franklin Richards. This was like supposed to be kind of like almost like a reboot of the Fantastic Four, but you bring in Franklin Richards, it could have just been the Fantastic Four, bro. But the day is saved once again by the writers. How the hell does Johnny Storm learn an alien language, the Silver Surfer's language, and then all of a sudden can have a whole conversation using that language? Just because it sounds familiar to a record that he was listening to. So basically, it is a language that is derived from Earth, right? Then I would understand how he can have an entire conversation in it, because it is similar to the language that is spoken in one of the countries on Earth where Johnny found or heard where the song is from, and what language the song is being sung in. Was that what the writers were trying to go for? Because it was plain stupid. Okay. Next point. Sue Storm still has a big... She acts like a big sister to Johnny Storm, okay? So while he's trying to figure out this alien language in one scene, Sue Storm doesn't even ask Johnny how he figured it out. Because he showed her like, yo, the record player, it sounds the same. I think I can learn the language. Boom, boom, boom. And she just gives him a high five. She doesn't say like, Johnny, are you sure? Don't you want to go through this with Reed? Just to see if things like, whoa, my voice is, whoa, it's like really thin. Almost like his lack of air. But nonetheless, like, she just allows him to carry on. She doesn't even like ask, like, are you sure you're right? Go through with Reed, blah, blah, blah. I mean, Reed could even find out where the Silver Surfer actually comes from. It's like so weird. But nonetheless, Johnny's story, when trying to talk to the Silver Surfer because she's female, he gets everything right, besides getting the female's attention. So, why does a godlike being like Galactus have to come down personally from his ship just to get a baby? Could have sent the Silver Surfer, or he could have used his cosmic powers and be like, hey, baby, baby in the ship, devour the earth and then just move on, you know? But he had to come out of his ship. His ship is like huge, but he's like also like actually pretty big. And they don't actually show his ship, they just show like the ship is landing, and you just see this big dude get out, and then he walks like, walking in New York City. Why did a guy that big have to come to New York City? I mean, he didn't have to. The Silver Surfer could have done his job, and he could have cosmically just pulled the baby from wherever into his ship, and then the film would have been done. It's weird. So why would Reed Richards teleport the Earth? This is the next point. In order to protect the Earth from Galactus, Reed Richards decides, okay, we are going to teleport the entire Earth to the Goldilocks zone, another galaxy, so that we can escape Galactus. And he said there is a chance that we will fall correctly or accurately within the 2% margin from that sun in the Goldilocks zone. What? You're going to teleport the entire Earth, and maybe you'll be able to successfully land in the 2% zone, which is the safe zone, okay, between getting like super hot and getting like super cold. What about the moon? What if that sun in the Goldilocks zone is actually hotter than our sun? What if it is actually cooler than our sun? Then that 2% zone isn't the same distance as Earth's. Okay? Then you have to understand, like, if you're going to teleport the entire planet Earth into this Goldilocks zone, are you teleporting it, and then when it appears in the Goldilocks zone, is it automatically going to orbit around the sun? What else might be in the way of that orbit? How are you going to get it to orbit? Because you're going to have to kickstart it in order to move in that direction, right? And then the gravity of the sun will keep it in its place, and it will just continue circling. And then on top of that, how many would that then change the calendar? Because, like, how long would it take if you fall in that 2% zone? Is the 2% zone also going to be 395 or 365 days in order to navigate the sun, or is it going to be longer or slower? Yeah. That's the thing. Like, he did not mention all of that in the film. He just says to everybody in the entire world, we need you all to help pitch in. We're going to teleport the entire Earth away. And I would have, even now, today, in this modern world, top scientists would have said, hell no, we can't do that. You're going to kill us. You're going to kill us, Reed. We're not going to do it. But anyway, they didn't get to do it. But still, it would have been like such a... Wow, I can't believe Reed Richards came up with that. Immediately, I would have just been like, instead of teleporting the Earth, why don't we just send the portal to Galactus and teleport him into a sun? It would have been so simple, bruh. Dude. So. Yeah, I actually mentioned it as a point here. Why would Reed Richards teleport the Earth to another galaxy to escape Galactus when he would just have to teleport Galactus in the first place to the ends of the galaxy? Or the ends of the universe. Much simpler. My last and my final point. Once again, whether from different studios, Galactus still gets his ass beat by the Fantastic Four, even though Galactus was not destroyed, but only sent away to another part of the universe. Because Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, said that he will be stranded. But how do you know this, Mr. Fantastic? How do you know that this godlike being is going to be stuck at the ends of the universe? This is a godlike being with cosmic energy that can create anything he wants. How the hell did he even get his ship in the first place? You think people built it for him? I'm sure he just... spaceship. That's all he did. I'm sure that's what he did. But you're like, the Earth is saved. Thanks again to the oh shit, Galactus is here. Yeah, exactly. Galactus can create... He's got cosmic energy. He can create a ship. If you can create someone as powerful as the Silver Surfer and give him a silver surfboard, I'm sure he's got his own surfboard. Yeah. I'm sure he can get another ship. Okay. I think I'm done with my rant now. All I do want to say is that this film was good. Okay, it wasn't great. It was good to watch. It was cool. It was mid. But it wasn't great. But if the Fantastic Four are going to be in Doomsday, then I think that this might definitely be the end of the MCU franchise. Okay? And not because of the Fantastic Four, but because of the story of the film that is going to be in Doomsday. Okay? And these are the reasons why. There is no build-up to this big bad called Doomsday. Okay? Or Doctor Doom. Not Doomsday, but Doctor Doom. What does Doctor Doom want? I would have understood this if this was still about Kang the Conqueror. Because they really built it up. Okay? But because of the MCU and building up Kang the Conqueror, and because of what happened with Michael, with the Majors, they had to obviously move away from Kang and then go straight into Doom. Okay? They were even building up the Kang variants. We've seen it in the Loki. We've seen it with the. We've even seen because Kang the Conqueror is involved with time, which is why Loki and the sacred timeline with the that organization that monitors the timeline. Okay, I totally forgot who they are again. See, that goes hand in hand together. That organization, Loki, because it was the TVA. Okay, Loki and the TVA. And then if you look at Kang the Conqueror, he was basically in that particular series as well. And then you look at the films, which was Ant-Man, the third installment, which had Kang the Conqueror in there, plus his variants. Okay. And then you also have to look at the fact that the TVA was also involved in the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, which once again involved timelines. Once again with Ant-Man, it involved timelines. Once again with the Loki series and the TVA, it involved timelines. So it was all supposed to be, this entire phase up until this big bad movie that's supposed to be, which is not supposed to be Doom. It's not supposed to be Doomsday. It's supposed to be about Kang the Conqueror. But because of what happened to Majors, midway through, or more than midway through, they changed it and said, okay, we're going to make it Doomsday, and that's why Robert Downey Jr. came back. And I think they should have just left it with Majors. They should have just kept him. They should have continued, okay? They should have kept on building up Kang the Conqueror and timelines. Because it was going the right way. But they decided to make a U-turn. And now we're going to go into a film where we don't even know what's going to happen. We don't even know what this thing is about. We just know the Fantastic Four is going to be there, and so is everybody else. And Doom is going to be there as well, Dr. Doom. But I so would have loved to have seen Kang the Conqueror, because he is one of, when it comes to villains in the MCU, Doom is my favorite. I don't know about this Doom. That's coming. Like, even if it's Robert Downey Jr., I don't know. Dr. Doom is my favorite. And on top of that, Kang the Conqueror is one of the best villains when it comes. Like Thanos got nothing. Thanos has got a freaking gauntlet. Didn't even understand that he only needed the reality stone in order to change everything. He thought he needed all 6 stones, but idiot. But now that Kang the Conqueror is like the freaking, he is the big bad. Thanos is nothing. Kang the Conqueror, dude, that guy. And I would have loved to have seen him, but no, we didn't get that. Okay. And to be honest, this story already lost, and the MCU is going to tank on the Doomsday film. Yes, everybody is going to basically go watch the Doomsday film. And there's going to be a lot of money made because, like, well, it's Doomsday. Everybody now wants to see the culmination of everyone's work, okay? Not to mention there's going to be so many actors in there. But nonetheless, it's not going to be like Infinity War or even Endgame. The MCU has had their shot. And, you know, when the film Doomsday ends, there's not even going to be Secret Wars. Secret Wars is not going to happen, bro. I'm serious. I know I sound like a bad guy right now, but Secret Wars is not going to happen. Doomsday is going to tank it all. Everybody's going to be like, it was totally crap. Let's give it up to DC now. Let's see what James Gunn can do with DC. Okay? If DC can do a better job, or DC can keep it going, then fantastic, you know. Once again, superheroes will be around for a little bit longer. But MCU, just give it up, bro. Okay? Just give it up. Let's give DC a pass. Let's see what DC can do with their heroes. You know, let's just enjoy the content. And eventually, when no more superhero franchises are there for anybody to make money from, we can actually have some really good story writing, like John Wick storylines, Predator storylines, and things that have not been created yet. Okay, we're talking about brand new ideas. Finally, then we can return to the great cinematic universe, which is cinema, movies, you know. Like, there are many other films out there that is like it's only been one film, but it was a fantastic film. We need to get back to that now. I've had enough of the superhero genre, It is cool to see, especially now that CGI is so much available. But let's have some good storylines, and let's just go move away from the superheroes, and let's create new but great content. That would be so cool. Anyways, thank you for listening to the rant and the review. It was quite a long one. And until the next video, see you.